I bought a new blouse for myself this week for $50 from H&M, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. It's not because I don't love it, it's not because it's not worth it, but the minute I stepped out of the store, the voices in my head started. That's why you're struggling, that's why you're going backwards. When are you ever going to learn? It was $50 and I felt like I'd committed a crime. And if you're watching this and you know exactly what I'm talking about, when you've stood in a shop and you've been holding an item and you've talked yourself into buying it, out of buying it several times. The guilt might have won over and stopped you from buying it, or it might have hit after you bought it and left the store. This video is for you. Nobody warned me about this part of retirement. Nobody told me that one of the hardest parts wouldn't be just about paying the bills and managing a budget. It would be the constant grinding guilt of wanting to spend money on the things that you used to spend money on. But let's just say this out loud because I don't think we say it enough. Retirement for a lot of us, and I say a lot of us, not just a few of us, isn't exactly the life we planned. It's not exactly all the cruises or the tours or the trips away that the brochures sold us. For a lot of women, it's counting the pennies, it's calculating, it's standing in, like I did the other day, standing in Aldi, deciding if I should buy 2 packets of new tea towels for myself or just one. And standing there doing the math, asking yourself if you can afford both. And then getting home and feeling guilty because you bought both. Tea towels. It's come down to tea towels. And that's where we're at. I haven't been asking people to subscribe to my channel and click like, but I was watching a guy the other day that has a massive following on YouTube. He's got a huge channel and he's constantly asking people to subscribe. And I thought, well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for my little tiny channel because I really want to grow. I really want to stay here and keep having these conversations with you. If you subscribe, I would be so appreciative. And I'm really grateful for anybody that wants to come on board and join my little channel, Michelle Unfiltered. I think we need to talk about what this can do to a person, not just financially, but psychologically. I don't hear many people talking about the mental load of living on less, sometimes a lot less, when you never used to. I was never rich. I want to be clear on that. I was never wealthy like some people are wealthy. But I was comfortable and at times I would say upper middle class. I ran small businesses. I borrowed funds to buy residential investment properties. I understood money reasonably well because I had to. I had to learn the basics of money because I was dealing with money and I was dealing with the banks. When you've lived that way, buying something for yourself doesn't become a major decision. It's just another purchase with no guilt attached. And you know the really hard part is switching that off because your circumstances have changed. Your bank balance has changed, but your habits haven't. And that gap between who you used to be, how you used to spend, how you used to live your life, and how you have to live your life now, that's where the guilt lives. And that's where all those voices come from. You can't afford that. You shouldn't have bought that. Why did you buy that? And here's how it goes. And tell me if this sounds familiar. You buy something for yourself. It could be small. It could be like I did, a $50 blouse. It might even be less, like the tea towels. And for that moment, you're caught up in feeling good. It feels like your life used to feel like. But later, it starts. You shouldn't have done that. You can't afford that. This is why you're not getting ahead. This is why you're going backwards. You're not changing. You're not getting it. And then comes the worst thought, the one that really gets to you. Is this it now? Is this my life now? Am I ever going to buy anything again without feeling like this? Is it going to change? And you can't really answer the question, so it just sits there. There was a period for about 6 months where I really reined it in. I was really trying hard and I was being quite disciplined. I felt proud that I'd become frugal, that word I've never really understood. I also felt that I was holding my breath the whole time. The discipline wasn't coming necessarily from peace, from practicality. It was coming from fear. And I feel like you can't hold your breath forever. I'm talking about something that I don't think gets enough attention when we talk about retirement and money. We talk about budgets, we talk about superannuation, we talk about interest rates, we talk about the age pension, we talk about term deposits, but we don't talk about identity. And that's what this actually is. When I bought myself that $50 blouse and I bought myself a pair of jeans as well, I wasn't being irresponsible. I was just reaching to try and feel like me, the old me, the me that I recognized, the woman that used to walk into a store and buy something for herself without having some sort of tribunal going on in her head. The woman that still exists. She's just living in circumstances that keep telling her she doesn't belong anymore. I think that's one of the most underestimated struggles of retirement, particularly for women that had careers, run businesses, women that made decisions. They might have had a well-paying job. They felt like there was somebody in the world. That loss of identity is real. It doesn't get fixed up by a budget spreadsheet. Add that to the cost of everything going up now, and we've all seen it, we've all noticed it. Things aren't going up just 5%. Most things since COVID have gone up a third, and some things in a few years have actually doubled. Your money is buying less than it ever has, and that's real. It's not in your head, you're not imagining it. So you've got this psychological weight of being different versions of yourself financially, and you've got the mathematical reality that everything costs more. That combination is a bit brutal. And a lot of women are carrying that all alone, and they're saying it's their fault. You know, it's not entirely your fault. It's the way the world is now. So what do we do with it? I'm not going to sit here and give you a 5-point plan. That's not what this is. But I am working on it. I don't have this quite solved, but I know that I'm in it with you. So maybe the first thing is to separate guilt from accountability. They're not the same thing. Accountability says, yes, I spent $50 on a blouse, so where else this week can I pull back? Guilt says, you're a failure. You're never going to get this right. One of them is useful, and one of them just makes you feel bad about yourself. It doesn't change anything. And I suppose we need to get honest about what we're really spending and why, not to punish yourself. Sometimes spending isn't about the thing you're buying. It's about relief. It's about wanting to feel like you used to feel, even if it's for 5 minutes. And if that's your problem, a budget might not fix that, because your need underneath that spending is real. And you might be like myself, and I'm still working on this. You might be grieving the life you thought you were going to have. I think a lot of us skipped that step. We went straight to managing and coping and getting on with it. The grief just follows you around. It's dressed up as guilt, spending, and that voice that can wake you up early in the morning saying, is this really it? It's okay sometimes to be sad that things didn't go the way you hoped they would. They didn't go the way you planned. They didn't go the way you saw your future going. And it's okay to miss who you once were, to miss the old you. There's nothing wrong with that. And I did buy that $50 blouse this week, and I love it, and I'm keeping it. I'm not taking it back. But I'm also going to keep having this conversation, the real one. Because I think there's a lot of women out there that are exhausted pretending that they have adjusted when they haven't really. They haven't completely adjusted. If that's you, you're in the right place with me. I'd really like it if you left me a comment and let me know what was the last thing you purchased that you felt guilty about. I'd really like to know. If my video resonated with you, you might know other women you'd like to share this with, because they're out there and they might need to hear this. She might be thinking she's the only one.